Sydney's Andrew Evans was a little-known player when he came to prominence at last year's Australian Masters, finishing tied second behind Peter Senior. The confidence from that performance has seen him go on to earn his card on the PGA Tour China.
Yeah, well, I did a traineeship at Bexley Golf Club under Paul Davis. I finished that in end of 2008. I played a lot of programs, a little bit in One Asia, here and there. But yeah, it's just a lot of programs, they keep you going. You try and pre-queue for the Australian events. Eventually I had status in 2011 and 2013. Working the pro shop, I mean, the TV was always on for the big events, so you always wonder if you're going to be there or if it's ever going to happen, and it was my best finish. It was probably the best week of my life. It showed I could compete in the, not necessarily the world stage, but in a big stage in Australia, because that is one of the bigger tournaments in Australia. So it showed I should still be playing, I can be around it. And like I was in the mix most of the week at the Masters, and then 7 News came up for an interview, and it's all a surprise. You don't expect it. You don't go, oh, it's going to happen. So, but I felt like I did it pretty well. Words don't come out as good as I like sometimes, but I felt like I answered the questions pretty well in an honest way, and not just boring answers. I tried to explain it a little bit better. So, but yeah, it was a big week, and I felt like I handled it well. I played awesome. I mean, I hold some pretty big putts. I know the putt on the last everyone wants to talk about because it was on TV and stuff like that, but there's a lot of putts I hold. I felt like this could be my week, you know. Like, you don't hold those putts, like, they don't just go in. Like, it's for a reason. It's kind of, I kept telling myself that. So that gave me confidence coming in. And then I hit 2 of the best iron shots of my life, and then the whole of those putts as well, 15, 16, that was big. Yeah, I mean, I could have parred 17 and still been okay on the last, but that's just the way it is. I mean, if you don't, I was trying to get the win. I was trying to get in the Australian Open the week after. Once that missed and you could hear the cheers for Peter, it was kind of like, oh, let's get out of the way. That's kind of how it was. To get the text from the PGA to say how much money you won was ridiculous. I mean, I was like, are you kidding? That's like 3 years of programs, or even 4 years of programs if you're lucky. So to have that was huge, big weight off my shoulder. Knowing I kept my card, that was huge as well. I could try and go to Q schools, thinking of going to Japan or Europe towards the end of the year. But you need the funds, and that was part of the check, was to have the funds, because you don't want to, fair enough it's expensive to go to qualifying school, but you want to have the money to play the events. You don't want to get your card and be like, oh, I can't afford to play the event. So there's pathways there.
Evans's game took a turn for the better when he began working with Canberra-based fellow touring professional Matt Miller just prior to the summer of golf.
I felt like the week before at Stonecutters Ridge, New South Wales Open, was huge for me. My girlfriend caddied on the last day when I doubled the last at New South Wales Open. It was kind of like a thorn in your side, and on the drive home I was pretty annoyed, and I was just kind of saying, well, I should be playing next year. I feel like I just need one good week, and I felt like I had one good week in me. So it started after WPGA. I was coming 5th after 2 rounds, and the weekend just didn't happen. And then I messaged Matty Sunday night, and I just said, I don't know what I'm going to do. Do I go to China? Do I try and play the end of the year? I don't know what I'm going to do. Do I work next year? It was a lot of things, and then we had a good chat. Hit some balls in the range, and it was just simple. He went and followed me for 9 holes, just to see all the bad shots, good shots, stuff like that. In terms of him as a coach, he's very much a mentor. A lot of stuff he talks about, like I talked to him at the Masters Wednesday before the tournament, and on the putting green, I'm freaking out. I'm stressed out, you know. Like, I want a good week. Like, I want to force a good week, and he just kind of said, well, just see what happens, you know. Just go and play the course and see what happens. Which that mantra was in my head the whole week, and it paid dividends. I feel that's where he's helped the most. A lot of stuff we work on, it's not rocket science. It's just basic stuff. There's a lot of hours on your own, like on the range. You got to have the self-determination to kick yourself in the butt and get out on the rainy days or whatever it is. So there's a lot of work. I'm here at least 4 or 5 hours a day leading into a tournament at Bonnydoon. I mean, there's months where you don't have a check, so so you got to put the hours in, and yeah, it is work. That's what everyone thinks. Everyone thinks that the check's there. You just got to tee it up, a bit like tennis. You just tee it up and the check's there. But if you're not playing well, there's no money coming in. So.